and welcome to Ctrl Alt Deplete, episode 24.
Woo, 24?
24. Doing this for a while now. Yeah, I think I'm curious when our first one was, like when our year mark was.
I think it was either in the fall or the early winter.
It was like right around the time I think that Dragonflight was getting ready to come out, I think. But yeah, we've been going for a while.
Yeah.
And, 24 episodes is pretty impressive.
Yep.
So hope everyone is doing all right. I am Buckblind, the Demon Hunter, and on the right, the anything but fire mage, Mr. Bioshock.
I'm not saying fire mage is good. It's better.
Fire mage is terrible. Delete all fire mages.
I still don't play it, man. It's so I know we get a little off topic real quick, but with some of the changes, like instead of spamming Pyroblast when AoE, you now just spam Flame Strike, because now Flame Strike adds to your hot streak.
Right.
So you get a lot of Flame Strike and Flame Patch damage, which is kind of cool. Because AoE not so like dependent on pyros all the time. I don't know. It's cool, but I still don't think it's the strongest of the three. I think Frost is the best, and then Arcane and Fire. But yeah, anyways, carry on.
I mean, Frost is always the best. But,
it's the most fun,
Arcane is second best, and then Fire needs to just be deleted from the game. Or you make their combust like a 30-second cooldown, so I'm not always hearing, my combust, I don't have combust, don't pull, wee.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody type that in chat yet. Don't pull yet.
In Shadowlands, I saw it all the time in Shadowlands. Almost every fire mage I got. And I don't know if combust was a longer cooldown back then, but I swear it was every single fire mage was just like, I don't have combust. Wait 30 seconds for combust. Like, I'm not waiting. It's a time dungeon.
Yeah.
That's the point of time. It drives me nuts when people are like, wait for my cooldowns. No, like I'll pull smaller, and then when you have your cooldown, I'll pull bigger. But like, I'm not just gonna stop pulling because you don't have your cooldown. That's weird. My headphones are looking weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
My headphones like.
Well, go on.
I don't know what my headphones doing. It's weird. It's like showing up as not my headphone. I don't know. It's weird. It's probably her light. So the first episode that we ever did was 9 months ago, September 30th.
Oh, so fall, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it was right before just before the launch, because launch was
November. October,
yeah,
October, November.
I can't remember if it's October or November now. I can't remember when launch was. I want to say it's November.
I want to November too. I'm not sure.
I think it was Thanksgiving week, or the week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was Thanksgiving week because I took off peak season, which was Thanksgiving week. Oh, it was the week right after. It was the Monday right after Thanksgiving, I think. Because that would have been Cyber Monday, and I did not go to work that Monday or Tuesday. I only worked one day the entire peak season, and everyone hated me for it. But when did Dragonflight launch date? Was November 28th. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So it was the Monday right after Thanksgiving. But so we did episodes for about 2 months then leading up to it.
Yeah, we missed I want to say we missed most of February.
Yeah, we missed a lot of time, and it's about 7-8 weeks in January and February, a little bit of March.
Yeah.
I think it's mainly February and a little bit of March because we all just kind of had other stuff going on. We are back from a 2-week break because we had I had some stuff going on the past couple of weeks, so we did not do the podcast.
I was out of town as well.
Yep, but we are back, and didn't miss anything because last week was Sanguine week, so it would have just been me ranting and raving about Sanguine and how much I hate it. So, you know, this week I'll rant and rave about other stuff. Anyway, speaking of axe fixes, these week's affixes are Tyrannical, Entangling, and Bursting. So Tyrannical's easy. We all know Tyrannical. Entangling is one of the newer affixes.
Super easy.
Yeah, Entangling's pretty easy. You just have to move out of it or use any kind of ability. Yeah, any kind of ability that gets rid of movement and parrying effects. So like Paladins of Blessing to Freedoms, Druids Shapeshift.
Mages can shield because there's a talent when they use shields to remove their movement and parrying effects. So you can just pop like Blazing Barrier, Mage Barrier, whatever spec you are, and it'll take you out of the Entangling as well without having to move out.
Right. And then the final affix is Bursting, which if you have a Shadow Priest in your group, they can master spell Bursting. So that's nice.
Yes. Run through Shadow Priest like everyone's already doing.
Right. Yeah, most groups already have a Shadow Priest anyway. It is still the number 1 spec, I believe. Pretty sure.
Yes. It's like I think the very, very high keys Fire Mage is the best.
Well, I'm talking like most played. Like
most played? Oh, Shadow Priest by far, yeah.
Yeah, I think Shadow Priest right now is the highest played DPS for according to Raider.io. As it should be because it is pretty strong and a lot of good utility.
It's very good. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, number 1 played for anything above 20s.
I don't know if it'll work. We'll have to try it out tonight, but I'm wondering if Death Knight's Death Advance would work on Entangling.
Possibly.
I'll have to test it out. I can see it working, but at the same time I can see it not working.
So for 20s and up, Ret Pally actually is top as far as most played at 12.3, and then Shadows at 10.2. Then we jump to 25 and up, 25% are Shadow Priests, and nobody's even close. Sub Rogues are second at 12. So more than double the Shadow Priests on those 25s and up.
Yeah.
But, yep. No, I don't know if Death's Advance works or not. I can look that up while you go ahead and talk about our next topic. Next bit of news.
Okay, so the trading post stuff. I'm just gonna give you a rundown of like the best stuff. There's a lot of transmog stuff, for 100 to 500 coins or whatever. So quickly before I get into the rewards, I read an article today that says Blizzard is not plan on putting in traveler log tokens for money.
Interesting.
So I was looking into that, and they said they're not doing it.
I am going to say that they decided not to do it because the fact that they had icons for it, I think they 100% were planning on doing it, and then I think the feedback they got was that was be a terrible idea. Which honestly, like, I get it, but I also don't think it's that terrible because it's all cosmetic. But
yeah,
but I think the feedback probably made them go, yeah, you know what, never mind.
Yeah. Anyways, continuing on. So there's 3 mounts, 2 you can buy, and 1 is the end of the month reward. If you get the so last couple months the Traveler's Log has been up to 1,000 coins, like for 1,000 points to finish the month. It's now 1,400. So it's a little bit more, but that being said, you get a little bit more coins to spend on items in the reward area. So there's the green scorpion. I don't have the exact name of it, but it's got the model of like one of the big scorpions from like the Horde Guild mount and the mount from Siege of Orgrimmar, I think it is. Where it's just green though, so it's cool looking. I think it costs 550 or 650 for that. Terrell's Charger, the one that's been kind of making it. I think I saw it like in the store around Christmas time because I was gonna get it, but I ended up not getting it, and I got it now because of the reward. It cost 900 Traveler Log tokens for that one. The third rare item that I'm trying to decide between if I'm going to save it or get the mount is the Spectral Tiger Cub. That's supposedly pretty rare, and I think I looked it up on eBay. I think we both did. I think it came to be around $200 or $300 for the Tiger Cub, because it is a TCG item. So it's like you can't get it other than this month or this month's rewards. Then to finish off the the traveler's log for the month is a grotto netherwing drake, and it's a dragon riding mount. So it's you can use it to fly around in the actual new zone, the Dragon Isles, which is cool because like I was gonna say it's cool because we haven't really gotten anything like cool. It's a flying mount in the game because the mythic that I want to give us flying mounts for a mythic reward for KSM, I should say.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that we can get another flying mount, even though like everyone can get it. It's a really cool looking mount, and I really enjoy it.
Yep. On the note of what we were discussing a minute ago, Death Advance does not remove entangling, but it does remove the slow from it. But you still have to get out of the circle or be slowed. Because it makes you so you can't be slowed below 100% of your speed.
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah, you want to take it away with the catalyst?
All right. So we also for quite a few weeks we've had the catalyst has been out. Inspiration Catalyst. I don't know what they called it. I think it's Inspiration Catalyst or something. Anyway,
like that,
the Catalyst has been out for a while, so you should at this point have enough charges saved up on every character to turn anything into tier and get your 4 set right off the bat. However, starting Tuesday with 10.1.5, you can go into raids from Shadowlands Season 3. You can go into the raid for Season 1 of Dragonflight, and you can any piece of gear that you get there, you can go to your creation catalyst and turn into tier for free. You don't have to use a charge or anything. You can go and it'll turn into the tier for whatever difficulty the piece of gear you got was from.
That is legacy, so does that mean I could do it from a Battlefield Desire lore set?
I don't think so. I think it has to be either Shadowlands Season 3 or 4, or the Season 1 of Dragonflight. Not 100% positive on that, though. That was the examples that they gave. It's possible that maybe that'll work for old stuff, but right now, because the Creation Catalyst and the Revival Catalyst, so I don't know if the old tier stuff or if other gear works for that. It says that it is for Sepulture of the first ones and for Vault of the Incarnates or Forbidden Reach gear. So it doesn't say anything about old gear stuff. I don't think it'll work for that based off my understanding, but it is possible that maybe that is something that they will change going forward. Maybe you'll be allowed to do that with previous expansions and stuff as well.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I hope so.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool for people able to get their tier stuff from old raid, get the tier appearances, even if you didn't get the tier. But who knows?
Yeah. We're gonna take it with PvP.
Yep. Moving on.
So, I guess the last podcast we did, I talked about how it was that we were in the week 1, I believe it was. So now we're going into week Cup 3 finished on the weekend last week, so a little bit ago. At week 4 of the AWC, which I think is the final one. I don't know if it's final. I want to say it's final, but I'm not entirely sure. That one has been played offline this week, and there will be games. Today was European. Tomorrow will be European finals, and then there'll be the NA, and then NA finals on Sunday. So it's been a very amusing set of PvP games from watching them. A lot of like different comps are kind of cool to see. If anyone listening knows Peekaboo, then you know how good he is. And for the first 3 weeks, they went, and you play about 3. You play, it's a best of 5, right? So they play up to best of 5, and they went 32 wins, 1 loss. So they were just steamrolling everybody, which it was kind of funny. But they actually lost quite hard just last week. So A lot of, like I said, any team can win, which is kind of cool because like past expansions, it's like you got like 2 or 3 main teams, and the rest is just kind of competing for like 5th. But a lot of top teams, and it's a lot of back and forth. So it's cool to watch for sure. It's very amusing.
Nice. I have discovered something on your question for your DK with entangling. Yep. You can pre-anti-max, AMS, or AMS the resulting debuff. It says it's just usually simpler just to walk out of it. But if you need to, you can do that.
I don't think I'd want to waste AMS for something like that. You want to need it for maybe trash them. Because it's like a 40-second cooldown, so I mean, it's not very long, but you never know if you're going to need it or not.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so PvP would be fun to watch. I think they're taking top 4 from NA and EU, and I think they're going to take them, have them play at some event. I don't know. I would hope so. If it's announced that they're out hosting, they're starting another BlizzCon, I hope that there's finals for like PvP, like on the BlizzCon stage. Would be cool. Okay. Yes. So the next thing, which is probably one of the biggest things about this next patch, other than like reworks to classes and stuff, is the new Mega Dungeon. Just like the past Mega Dungeons from past expansions, it's gonna have 8 bosses. So I would assume that the following season it'll be split into 2. I'm guessing, where you have 4 and 4, and it's just different wings. Right? You think it sounds right?
I mean, right now it's just gonna be all
just
together.
The 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably season 3 and 4. Yeah, we'll probably get double wings on it.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Whether it'll be 4 and 4, who knows? Because like the Bazaar and Shadowlands, that they did 5 and 3. So it just depends on how they decide to set it up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So along those lines, so there's 8 bosses. I'll quickly just go over them. There's a lot of the models pretty cool. Especially, I really like the model of Tyr the Infinite Keeper and also Morchis. They're pretty cool. So the bosses are the Chronicar, Manifested Timeways. Well, it's just like you're fighting looks like gold-looking people for like a different timeline. It looks like it looks pretty cool. Blighted Galacron, Aridicron the Stone Scaled, Morchi, Tyr the Infinite Keeper, Time Lost Battlefield, and Chrono Lord Dios, and the Infinite Dragonflight. So some cool bosses if you want to see what they look like. I think you can look on the Dungeon Journal and the PTR, I assume. Otherwise, you can find it on like Wowhead and that kind of stuff. But that being said, they said it's going to have very raid-like mechanics or difficulty to them. So it's not going to be something you just breeze through really easily like some of the past Mega Dungeons. Not saying the past Mega Dungeons were easy, but I don't think they're going to be as hard as the way they're making this dungeon out to be. Because they're adding like the achievement for the cutting edge version of the Mega Dungeon, so I'm assuming it's going to be somewhat difficult. But yeah, so I think it's cool. I think raid-like fights for 5-man groups is really cool. The more mechanics maybe, and some like just need to be on your game more. I don't know. It just sounds good.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the Mega Dungeon just to try it out and see.
Yeah.
I do like the achievements that they're gonna have in there.
Yeah.
For getting it done, and I'm curious. I'm more curious to see it for Mythic Plus, because I'm sure we will have it in Mythic Plus for Season 3, possibly Season 4 as well. We'll see. Although they might. What I'm curious is, are they going to do
split it to one season?
That's what I'm wondering, if they're going to do one wing in Season 3 and the second wing in Season 4, or if they're going to have both in right away. I don't know, but we shall see.
Yeah.
Another bit of news is you can get the Picnic Basket, which is the trading card game toy, is available from Twitch drops from July 11th to July 18th. So during that time, watch 4 hours of wild dragonflight content, and then you will be able to get your Twitch drop from that. Both of our Twitch channels will usually have the Twitch drops active, so you can always check us out for a few hours. Once you hit 4 hours, you claim it. You got your pick basket toy.
Yes.
But
so they're another TCG item to bring back, which is kind of cool.
Yep. So then also, some article that I saw earlier today and made me a little tilted because it sounds really dumb and a bad idea. They are bringing the ability to ping stuff in game. Now, I've never used a ping system because I've never played anything except WoW, pretty much. You can already kind of ping the mini map, like give it directions, like, hey, go over here. Like, not a big deal. But this is supposed to be similar to like what League of Legends and other MOBAs have and stuff. So, I know you probably have more insight as to how the system actually works than I do. But I'm sure that once everybody has the ability to ping people in the group, it will only be used for good and for communication, and absolutely not any kind of toxic behavior whatsoever will be used by this ping system. I'm sure. Because the WoW community, as we all know, is the nicest, friendliest, least toxic community in all of gaming. This is a bad idea in my opinion.
If you think about it in like a league perspective, like I was telling you, like probably at 100%, 95% of that time it's toxic.
Yeah.
And 5% somewhat useful.
Yeah.
Like the times I can see it being useful is in Neltheris pinging the gold on the ground.
Right.
So I think that would be nice because it's easier for people to kind of see it.
Yeah. But what I see happening from a tank perspective, I start pulling. I have my routes already for every dungeon. I have my route now. This is the route I run. This is what I'm running. And what I see happening is any pug doesn't like what I'm pulling is going to start pinging me to try to get me to try to go over, do this other pull, and do that, do blah blah blah, and then rage and get mad. If you mess up, they're just going to start pinging you to make fun of you. Like it's not going to be used for good communication. It's going to be used to torture people and harass people. So, Blizzard says they're using it to, it'll be good for accessibility, which it is true. All the things you're saying, the reasons to bring it in are true. It can be used for those things. It just won't be used for those things. That's the thing. It like you said, 5% of the time it'll be used for good. 95% of the time it'll just be toxic.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. So glad they're doing that. And then another thing that they've done, and it's not so much just a bad thing to do, it just makes no sense to me. They are with this new patch, there will be a vendor where you can use your extra profession knowledge to buy artisan's metal, which those of you that have done professions will probably be aware. Profession knowledge is very hard to get. Artisan's metal is very easy to get. So I don't know why they feel like people have extra profession knowledge. I mean, there probably are people maybe that have maxed out their stuff. Maybe if they started from day one. But like I feel like right now there's no point in starting alts because there's no good way to get artifact knowledge. Now, maybe there's something out there that's easy to get artifact knowledge now. I don't know. I have not seen anything. No changes. I feel like that's been one big issue is they haven't placed any kind of catch-up mechanics in the game for artifact knowledge, really. So why they're putting a system in for you to get rid of your artifact knowledge, I don't know. I would love if there is a way to get infinite profession knowledge or an extremely large amount consistently. Please let us know in the comments because we don't know, and it feels like professions. It's the thing where they screwed up with professions. I love the work order system. That's been amazing. Once you figured it out, it had a steep learning curve. I feel like.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
I feel like you would agree. The work order system, being able to put in work orders to get stuff crafted that you ordinarily wouldn't be able to get, I think it has been really, really awesome and made it nice and easy to get crafted gear at a high level. I think that is a win from the profession changes. I think profession knowledge, honestly, I don't even have a problem with the talent trees and stuff that they've got for professions. I like the system. It's just that profession knowledge is so hard to get. That's the issue. The profession knowledge, if you could consistently, reliably get 30, 40 profession knowledge a week, that'd be excellent. You know, right now you like consistently can get like 5 a week. So it just feels like there's no point if you didn't start right off the bat. I think what it needs is almost like a Valor or a Crest type system where you're capped on an amount for week 1, but then that cap increases, and so if you didn't get any, you could just infinitely keep getting it until you hit that cap. I think that would be a better system for profession knowledge than what they currently have. Just in my opinion. Go ahead and take it away with our next point.
So this is news to me. Increasing the BOE drops from legacy rates help transmog farmers. So, for example, I was working on getting my sets for my DK, my warrior, Two-Star Garrison, etc. And the last piece I had to get was either boots or belt, and it's only dropped off trash. So I was looking at the auction house, you get they're selling for like 200k. So it's kind of frustrating. But I mean, that'd be nice. You could just kind of have a better chance of getting these.
Right. I just added a link for the article, by the way.
Yeah, I'll open it.
That way, I don't know if it lists. It didn't say specifically how much of it or like what the increase would be. I don't think. But
yeah, so I see like the pictures they've put out for like getting gear.
Not really.
Well, no, I see them right now. Like,
there's a couple of pieces, but yeah.
Couple pieces, yeah. But legacy raids, which would be what Shadowlands and onwards.
Yeah. Any non-current expansion raid.
Yeah. So that's cool. Like I said, it really helps, and I hope even if I don't get lucky and get the BOEs, that if I need to buy them, they're a lot cheaper. At least I hope that is what happens.
Right.
Because to finish a set, because I don't want to have like a whole set except for missing one piece. So I'll fork that gold over to complete the transmog. But it ends up being, like I spent like probably the most expensive one I probably bought was probably 175k boots for my DK. Other than that, I've spent like 100k on boots or even bracers just to finish the transmog.
The most I have ever spent to buy a piece of gear for transmog would probably be 0 gold. I don't know that I've ever bought any gear for transmog.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've finished almost all the sets. All the sets I've been working towards, so that's nice. But
yeah,
if there's any sets in the future that I need to get and I need a BOE piece, I hope the gold's a lot less, like the cost for it.
Now, I think the most gold I ever spent on a BOE item would have been my weapons at the start of Shadowlands. I bought BOE weapons right off the bat, but in fairness, I think I used those BOE weapons for almost the entire season. So right. I got a lot of use. I spent it was like 120,000 gold on each of them, but yeah. I used them. They were very good and very strong, and I used them for the entire season, or at least most of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
Now,
nice.
One thing I saw, and I don't know if they were just referencing it or if it actually is only going to affect it, but they said they noticed it was low and the drop rates were low and running solo. So I don't know if that means that this is only impacting it if you're running an old legacy raid on your own, and then won't impact it if you're running it with someone else. I don't know. It could just be that they just said that, not thinking about people might run it together. I don't know. We'll have to kind of see more info if they come out with any more info on that. But either way, the rate will drop, or the drop rate will increase when you're, at the very least, when you're running by yourself, which most people do transmog runs on their own anyway. except for you and Lynch. But
well, I take Lynch along.
yeah,
I can. Yeah, most of the stuff I do by myself, except for
right.
the and Taurus.
Yep. Now we did have some hot fixes.
There,
It
before we go to
was.
Mythic Plus, there was just one quick change to balance for it. For
we'll get into that. We've got that tuning stuff as well.
Oh, okay.
But as far as the hot fixes, oh, I see what you're saying. They have the one on there. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was just
yesterday.
That was just a hot fix for an issue
to
that balance users are having.
Quality of life.
Well, it's not a quality of life. It was just a bug fix.
It's quality of life.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's just a bug fix on there. With some of the stuff wasn't dealing damage if the target was out of line of sight, but that stuff will now. Wild Mushroom and Fury Balloon. Yeah. Anyway, the Mythic Plus, the affixes, they fixed an issue for Corporeal, which that week is over anyway. Now, a lot of these changes were done about a week ago, so they've been out.
Days. Yeah.
But no, we got some 25% damage reduction to Gash Tooth's Gash Frenzy from the Dot. In Brackenhide, we've got Rathai, which is I think the last boss. The Wither Eruption damage reduced by 10%, and the Totem Burst cast time is increased to 7 seconds instead of 5. Halls of Infusion, Watcher Iridius, Power Overload now only targets 2 players instead of 3.
Yeah.
Neltharian's Lair, fix an issue that caused the Vile Shard Crawler's Acid Splatter to inflict more damage than intended. Rockmora, the ads had their health reduced by 25%, and the damage from the crystalline ground was reduced by 25%. Neuraxis, the toxic wretch damage, the green little puddles there that are on the ground, that damage is reduced by 25%. Then you want to go over the Neltharis stuff there?
Yep. So Neltharis, the Kolashi Lava Bearer health is reduced by 10%. The Commander health reduced by 15%, and the Warden's health reduced by 10%. Magma Tusk, so we get into the boss of Neltharis, health reduced by 10%. Magma Lob cooldown has been increased. Which one is Magma Lob?
That's just where it tosses a little orange swirl puddle and drops. It turns into a puddle of lava.
Okay, and then we have Magma Eruption, periodic damage reduced by 25%. Lava Spray damage reduced by 20%. Lava Wave reduced by 15%. Forge Master's health reduced by 10%. Seems to be a theme in this. Dungeon reducing the health. Blazing Aegis damage reduced by 20%. Blazing Hammer reduced by 20%. The Warlord health reduced by 10% again. Molten Gold damage reduced by 20%. You want to finish?
Alright. Vortex Pinnacle Assad, the Skyfall Nova ad that comes out in the last boss, damage is reduced by 20%. For Oldemon, and this part, I know you guys would have liked this a couple weeks ago. The Earthen Shards from Sentinel Telandris, the dot that gives on a random NPC, or random player. That periodic damage has been reduced by 20%. I know you and Lynch both died from that multiple times in that room because the healers just couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
Part of that is it was hitting hard. Part of that is the healers just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And then Emberon, Seeking Flames visual has been adjusted, which I saw a video on that, and it does look a lot different. It's a lot easier to see.
Okay.
And then Underrot, and I wondered if this was going to happen. The Grotesque Horror's Dark Echoes cast times increased to 1.5 seconds instead of 1 second, which is good because I'm the one who normally in our group. I'm normally who's interrupting that Dark Echoes, and it was a very fast cast.
Right.
It usually the issue is if I use another button and then he starts casting it, I could not. My GCD wouldn't even be up and available to use my kick until he had already started casting it. So we would take a tick of damage anyway. But now you should be able to kick to get a kick off on it before it even does any damage. Which I did notice that yesterday when we did an Under Eye. It was a bit easier to get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some dungeon tuning, which is nice to see that we're still getting some changes with stuff that they think needs it, which is nice. I think they did a much better job tuning this season than they did season 1, so that helps. But moving on, excuse me, I'm tired. Moving on to some class tuning from the PTR, which again, PTR launches 10.1.5 launches in 4 days, 5 days, whatever you want to call it, on the 11th. So next Tuesday, it is going to be launching. So you want to take us through the little tuning changes there?
Yeah, I'm trying to find my Death Knight one that I had saved.
Well, go ahead and take us through the mage one that's in the notes, and then I'll look up some the other stuff.
I'm trying to even find the mage ones right now.
It's in the notes.
The one's the dot esports.
No, it's in the notes.
Oh, I see it.
Show
Yeah,
notes.
sorry, I was looking at the next one. Okay, yeah, that's better. It's just mage changes this one though. But the Frozen Touch now it grants you bright fees 20% more often. Was 15. I think they nerfed it a little bit recently and then realized they need to buff it again. Cause I was pretty sure they nerfed it from like 20 to 15, and then maybe back 20. I don't know. I thought it was already nerfed and they reverted it though. Snowstorm is the ability that when you have Blizzard hitting multiple targets, has a 30% chance every time it does damage to increase the damage next quote unquote by 8% second to 15 times. Rank 2 of this talent increase the damage next quote unquote by 36% second to 15 times. So that's a huge buff. I don't know. I'm not sure how it'll play because you use quote unquote typically to reset your AoE cooldowns. I don't know if you would want to save it for too long to build up stacks. I don't know how to play, but I think the buff is nice. And then the last thing here is Splitting Ice, which is just fix some wording and the ability that your Splitting Ice lance and icicles deal 5% increased damage and hit a second target for 80% of the damage. And then Glacial Spike hits the second target for 100% of the damage, so it's just big damage on Glacial Spike.
Let me see here.
Yeah. I'm trying to find
notes.
PvP changes.
Here, I'm linking this for you. This will have
Ooh,
all
I found it. Okay, so want me to start then?
There, I just put the link in there for this is all the PTR changes that they've done.
Okay.
Like all their dev notes.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Okay. Hold on, I don't see the Death Knight changes. Maybe it's at the bottom towards PvP. Let me just check real quick. Sorry. That's Monk. This is tons of notes.
Yes, so this is the forum post. So like the last one was June 27th.
This started in May 11th.
Yeah, go to the very last post. This is like all their PTR notes on everything.
So I'm at June, July. I'm just gonna use the ones I was looking at. I can't find them. I'm like looking at the most recent, and I only see like Priest, Paladin, Mage, Evoker, no DK. Yeah, this doesn't have the DK PvP changes in it. Yeah, it doesn't. It's all good though. I'll just start with the Death Knight, and then you can kind of carry on after that if that's cool.
I don't have anything on it, so.
Okay. So let's talk about a couple of the Frost and Unholy things then that I know off by heart basically. So Abomination Limb was that ability that kind of grips you in, and in Shadowlands just to continuously grip you in, but in this expansion it only grips you once, so you can kind of get away from it. But that was basically as it reduced the damage by 50%, which is fine because it wasn't really topping damage anyways. It's more used to pull them in anyways, so it's okay. Empowered Weapons Haste bonus is now 33% effective in PvP combat. It's quite the nerf. And spell warding no longer reduces the duration of magic shell. It's kind of. So Frost Death Knights in the developer note, they're making updates to Frost Death Knights in PvP with the goal of rewarding the spec for uptime by increasing its overall sustained damage and lowering its reliance on cooldowns. So they're nerfing Pillar of Frost by a little bit, the stacking strength by a little bit, Frost Helps with Masteries nerf. All these are nerfed by 50%, by the way. Bone Grinder's Frost damage is increase. It's now 50% effective. Yeah, it's more nerfs. So and then get into some of the actual changes here. You got Gathering Storm is nerfed by 50% as well, which is that AoE, that AoE snowstorm that they have. Remorseless Winter damage from Everfrost is reduced by 50%. During Strength increased is now 80% effective in PvP, so 20% down. This is where they're upgrading, buffing some of the single target ability or non-burst abilities. So they have Frost Strike damage now increased by 45%, was 30, so went up 15. Obliterate damage now increased by 20% in PvP, was 8%. Obliterate damage now increased by additional 60% when killing machines not active on a PvP combat. So that's just some more like sustained damage. Remorseless Winter is now damage increased by 80% in PvP. Hound Blast is now increased by 30%. Frost Scythe, I don't even know why they bother. Frost Scythe is just not used. It's never used ever since it was in the game. But it's just, I don't know. That is now increased as well by 50%. Glacial Fast by 50%. The changes that I'm most looking forward to is the Unholy changes. So some of the things, just before I get into it, that is really cool about Unholy right now, coming in the patch, is that now you can use Army of the Dead in PvP, like Arena, stuff like that. Kind of fulfills that class fantasy of raising the dead. Just cool. But instead of to nerf it for PvP because it'd be too strong, I think, is it made instead of summoning 8 ghouls with the Army of the Dead, you summon 4, and your Apocalypse summons 2 instead of 4, so you get like half, but I mean, it's still gonna be good, the Army of the Dead ghouls damage now increased by 20%. The explosion damage on Festering Wound is increased by 100%. Dark Transformations damage increased to Death Knight's primary pet is now 50%, so it's a slight nerf. Virulent Plague duration is no longer reduced by 45%, so it's a buff. The damage is increased by 10%, it's a buff. Festering Wound damage now increased by 250% in PvP, so that'd be some nice damage. Death Coil's damage is increased by 90%. I heard that was a typo. For some of the top Ks I was looking at today, they said the Death Coil damage is not 90, I don't think. It's going to be less. Spirit Strike increased by 30%, and Claw and Shadows increased by 30%. So that's just, there's upping a lot of the damage for Unholy. Like Frost doesn't look terrible, but like I think Unholy's just so much more beneficial changes that it's going to be a lot better than Frost.
Now are you looking at that dope esports?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, those are just the full patch notes for the stuff. Those aren't like any tuning they just did.
Yeah, I meant for coming up with the patch.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. There's I'll just quickly go into this. I didn't realize this either, but I just can't be right. Okay, yeah, it is. So augmentation changes for PvP are coming out as well, which is kind of surprising because like, who's tried augmentation in PvP yet? Nobody. But I don't know. Maybe they just preemptively make these changes.
I mean, on PTR probably.
Yeah, but they don't have They don't have the arenas.
Yeah, I don't know. Do they have battlegrounds or anything?
No. Actually, you might be able to, but I just don't think anyone queues it, to be honest. But yeah, augmentation, new PvP talent, Born in Flame. Ebon might cause your Flame to become instant cast when it's active. That's old because they just changed it. Called Born in Flames, has been slightly redesigned. Casting Ebon Might, which is the buff to your teammates, Grants burn out immediately and every 3 seconds for 6 seconds, reducing the cast ability flame by 100%. So it's just, you get like 2 or 3 instant casts off, whatever. This is where the nerfs come in. So Ebb and Might is no longer increased in PvP combat. Was initially increased by 45%. So that's quite the nerf. Upheaval damage increased by 15%. Was 50, so quite the nerf as well. And eruption damage increased by 50%. Was 100%. So there's some quite big nerfs. But like, I was watching an interview today with that Kalamazzi did with one of the augmentation designers, and they said they're going to be looking very carefully into how well they're performing and make changes accordingly, quick, apparently. So, like every week have a change if needed, you know. A couple more last things is Breath of Eon is no longer dispellable, which is good. Lava Shield's been removed. That's a PvP talent. Ebb and Might increased augmentation evoker damage 20% was 14%. And the battlegrounds at 4, yeah. Alright, yeah, that's all it. That's it.
Nice.
Some nerfs to augmentation, some small buffs. But like I said, they said they're going to be watching very carefully to make sure it's going to be performing as well as it should.
Alright. And then, yeah. So, what's your weekend wild been like?
I don't know. I'm just waiting to do big keys. I've been messing around with alts a lot, just waiting to do big keys my mains. Just got back from camping 4 or 5 days ago. So I didn't really play much last week as well, but I didn't really feel like I missed out on anything because of Sanguine. But yeah, no, just ready to play some WoW and some Diablo because that's what we've been doing.
Yep. Yeah, finally getting back into keys this week. Last week was I mentioned to you I've been averaging 25 keys a week for the first 7 weeks, and last week I did 5 keys because Sanguine. Sanguine just makes it not worth it. I'm hoping that is the next affix that they retire, and maybe in season 3 we won't have Sanguine. We'll have something better. But we'll see. Sanguine just does nothing but increase how long it takes to do keys. It makes you fail keys over and over.
Yeah.
But now, if there's a better way to stop stuff from hard casting, Sanguine would be so bad.
Yeah.
But this week's a good push week, so go out there and try to get some high keys done. We'll be doing a bunch of 17s, 18s tonight, and tomorrow night probably. So get some nice numbers and increase those scores. Get some more aspect crests so we can finish crafting our gear. That's probably my goal for this weekend, is to get both of my last 2 pieces of gear crafted to 447. So I think I just need 8 crests to make that happen. So that should be pretty easy to get done. We do 10, 12 dungeons. I should have that.
Yeah.
So, yep, goal is to get that taken care of this week. Start upgrading everything and be in good shape going forward. But, yeah, that's about all I got. You got anything else?
That's fair. Nope, just look forward to doing next week as well.
Yep. All right, well, you can always, if you have any thoughts or comments you want to give, feel free to comment on the channel. You can also hit us up at Twitch or Twitter or YouTube, whatever we're on. I've got, I'm on Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/Buckblind. You can also find me at kick.com/Buckblind, I think. Or I think it's what it is. Then YouTube, Buckblind the Demon Hunter, or Twitter at BuckblindDH. Bio, what are yours?
KQ_Bioshock, just for Twitch and YouTube.
Yep. So you can feel free to find him. He streams a lot. I stream a lot. So feel free to come check us out, watch us do some runs, ask us questions, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's about all I got.
Yep.
So I guess we will see you guys next time.
Yay.
Bye.